Hello everyone, I am Mithun143 from AGTV, and with me today I have Aman Biswas from Nvidia. So Aman, how are you today?
I'm good. What's up with you?
I'm pretty good too. So let's just directly jump into the questions. First of all, I want to ask you, you're from Guwahati, right? Like most people don't know, that you're from Guwahati originally. So, so tell us your journey from Guwahati to the Nvidia, and your basically like give us a brief history of your like old until today.
So basically, because I'm Bengali, people think and I've been working in Kolkata since 2011. People think I'm actually from Kolkata. I've been born and brought up in Guwahati all my life. In 2011, after like my 10th, I decided to go to Kolkata because I saw that there wasn't a lot of opportunities in Guwahati when it comes to gaming. When I mean opportunities, I also want to make you understand that there was an infrastructure problem in Guwahati. Back till 2011, a lot of places in the world, like in India, had broadband.
Yeah.
Till 2011, Guwahati had dial-up.
Yep.
So you couldn't do much, and I got frustrated because I wanted to do something around gaming in India. I wanted to write. I wanted to somehow get involved. And I was not much of an esports guy. I wanted to get involved in more a casual sense, and the easiest way I saw was blogging. So I went to Kolkata in 2011. After that, I bought my first ever gaming PC in 2013, which had like a 760 GTX. That was my first PC.
Nice.
Right. Before that, I used to play on a very crappy old laptop, and used to play like World of Warcraft in 620p at like 10 FPS.
Yeah,
So
I know you're obsessed about all the Warcraft. I saw the post.
yeah. So yeah, I used to have like I had no proper gaming equipment till about 2013 when I bought my first PC. After that, as soon as I bought my first PC, within I think I bought it around August, and by October I opened my blog, which was AssetCast, and eventually I basically wrote a lot. Every single day I wrote articles based around Indian gaming, not just about game releases and other things, but about what is happening in India, what is happening in Bangalore, what is happening in Mumbai, where the main hubs of gaming were, right?
Basically covering all of
Yeah.
like India. Okay.
Because when you see bloggers from India, they would generally write about trailers and other things. And back today, there are a lot of bloggers, but back in 2013, 14, there weren't as many. And there weren't people covering things like, say, an event happened in Bangalore. No one would write about it unless it's a big event. We would be covering even the small events, which would get like 30, 40 people. And that was my aim.
Basically, you're doing like information spreading.
Yeah. Basically, my idea was, hey, I will try to archive all the information around and regarding gaming in India through my blog. And then I did my blog for about 2.5 years, and I did my first event, which was called Nerd Meet back in 2015 October. And then eventually I got into Nvidia because they saw like I was one of the few people who was taking initiative, and
they saw the potential in you basically.
It was not about potential. A lot of people have potential, but what they I think saw was the fact that I was one of the few people who was doing something on my own without being told to, right? No one told me to do events, no one told me to start a blog, no one told me to do anything regarding gaming, but I was actively involved. And even though it was Kolkata and I'm Bengali, it was still a foreign city for me because I'm from Guwahati, right? And so that initiative that I took, I think that got to people, and that got me hired eventually in Nvidia. Yeah.
Okay, so from the the current situation in Guwahati, like not Guwahati, like let me say like Northeast. So what do you have want to say regarding that part, like compared to the past and now? What do you think that the changes are occurring? What are the differences you see, and what are the what we as a gamers from the community can do to improve it regarding gaming part?
So the first biggest change is internet.
Yeah.
I remember downloading like 5 MB songs for like 3 hours. So yeah, that was the biggest change. And today, there are cafes. There's Hoppers Arena. There's Gamers Den. Good cafes with premium PCs like 1060 PCs, esports chairs, good internet connection, affordable pricing. So it leads to more people trying at least go into games, right? When I left Guwahati, there were cafes, but those were internet cafes that had games in the PCs. They weren't gaming cafes as such. While India had Zapak and other things in Mumbai, Bangalore, Kolkata, even we did not have it in Guwahati, right? We had normal internet cafes where even by the time like 2009, 2010, there was GTA Vice City installed, right? And you would go there, we'd play, but it's a good change that is happening. Like slowly, we are seeing a modernization of infrastructure. We're seeing good cafes come up. We're seeing internet is finally sort of solved. Like at least in Guwahati it's solved. I don't know about other parts of Assam. There's still several parts of Assam where our northeast where internet is still an issue, but people are going through because now we have things like Geo, which is a national thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not related to region, which is allowing people to come up to the internet and talk. So the main changes I would say internet and infrastructure. Like now cafes are there, and since games and everything are bought digitally, there isn't much of an issue for stores, right? Yeah, so that will be the best thing. And yeah,
And what should we like the community do? Like the gamers should do to like even improve it even better, so that the future generation gets like some kind of direction like where this is all going and everything.
right. Best thing the community can do is content creation right now, easily. There's and everyone can do this. It is not something that is that requires any kind of investment. If you have a phone, if you have basic phone today, everyone has a camera. Just go and record things, do vlogs, do something around video games. And again, when people think about video game content, they think about let's plays or walkthroughs or tutorial videos. That is not all that can be done. This was something that yesterday at the event RTX launch event at Hoppers Arena I was talking about. Content can be in a lot of ways. If you see BuzzFeed, right?
Yeah.
Best example that I like to give. The content, the issues they talk about, it's not tackled in a generic, conventional way. It is tackled in a very unorthodox way. What do I mean by that? Imagine making a video on just the Fortnite dance.
Yeah.
It's a very basic example I'm giving. I'm not saying you have to do it, but like, imagine making a video on the Fortnite dance. Most people will be attracted to it if it's a well edited video, right? And even non gamers will be attracted to it. They'll
If
be
it's
like,
funny and
yeah,
stuff.
if it's funny, if it's entertaining, they'll be, okay, what is this? Let me see what is this about. And that will reach out to a mass number of people. Right now, the main thing with content creation is to see less than a percentage of the Indian population take gaming seriously. 35% of the Indian population have internet, and we are a country of 1.3 billion people. So you can see the number disparity over there. The best way to improve it to spread awareness. How you spread awareness is in a lot of ways, whether you can tell people to play games, whether you can tell people, if you see PewDiePie content, like a lot of people who see PewDiePie might not be playing video games by themselves. I have a lot of friends who see PewDiePie but have never played a game in the last 3-4 years, right?
They watch just for his like funny.
Yeah,
stuff, yeah.
they watch him because of his personality. But what happens is, because they are watching, they're also indirectly a part of this industry, right? They might be watching. One of the main things PewDiePie got famous was for Walking Dead, the Telltale game, and Amnesia, that horror game, right?
Yeah,
Everyone who saw it was seeing it because to see PewDiePie scream,
yeah.
right? No other reason. But because of all of that, they got like a lot of people got to know about the games. A lot of people got to know about the gaming culture around it, and eventually it spread. I don't know what is the right kind of content for India. Of course, regional content, regional language content is a very important thing. Like, it is important to make content in languages that are not just English and Hindi, like Assamese or Bengali, and I think that will eventually grow the market in a big, rapid way. Because right now we are seeing more and more people take interest in gaming. Because despite whatever you say, You add music, you add movies, you add art, you add everything. Game can incorporate all of them, video games, right? And I think that is where games come out as the top of the entertainment medium. You can do just about anything in video games. You cannot do those same things that you can do in a video game, in a movie. And yeah, that's about it. Like, I think, I don't know what is the right kind of content for India or Northeast or whatever, but I think content in itself is the best approach to growing gaming today in the country, because anyone can do it.
Okay. So, like one more question I have for you. Basically, I'm going to ask you directly, like on your perspective, like
Right.
what are your plans for Northeast? Do you have any kind of plans that you want to introduce? Like last what you saw was the Nvidia Gamer Connect, which was a
Right.
very big event,
Right.
and lots of people will get attracted, like even attracted parents and like lots of new generation people.
Right.
So, do you have more such events coming up? Like, can you say regarding anything regarding this part?
Well, we keep doing smaller events. I don't know if there's a big event coming up, because there's nothing as such I can
Say.
confirm,
Okay.
right? We always plan, we always have that thought process that we want to do something either in Northeast or in Calcutta or in any other region. But till it's confirmed, I can't say anything. Primarily, what we are targeting, or what I am personally targeting, is to grow people in two sectors. One is, as I said, content creation. I want to make sure that more and more people are getting into making videos or getting into streaming. And the second part is the cafes, because simply speaking, a lot of people cannot buy or afford a PC today, or afford a PC, high-end PC, like with a 1060, 1070, 1080, etc. Cannot afford an esports chair, cannot afford the entire setup of the esports chair, PC, good headphones, mechanical keyboards, everything, right? A cafe is the easiest way to experience that. Today, if you go to Hoppers Arena and everything, I think it's like 50 rupees an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50, 60,
So it's the same rate that we used to pay back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the internet cafes day in 2005-6 is basically the same rate. We used to pay like 30 rupees an hour, which is 20 rupees plus, which is a good thing, right? Because a lot more people would get to experience gaming and what gaming means outside of whatever accessibility they have today. A lot of people who are getting into gaming today are getting into gaming because of mobiles.
Yeah.
Right,
PUBG
Mobile.
Yeah.
And even before that, if you saw, a lot of people were into Candy Crush,
Yeah,
Angry Birds,
Yep.
Flappy Bird,
Basics like
virals,
simple, yeah.
right? But they did get into gaming. And then now PUBG Mobile, and now same people are slowly shifting to PC or console games, whichever way you see it. And this, we know this will happen, because once you get into gaming, once you get into anything, if you see a movie in a laptop, if you're not a movie person, you see 3-4 movies in a laptop, you will eventually want to see a movie in a theater, in a good theater, PVR or IMAX, because you want to see, okay, what is this about? What is the actual experience about? That is what a cafe gives you the ability to do. Like, if you're playing PUBG Mobile, go to a cafe and maybe check out, and Guwahati has those cafes, Gamers Den and Hoppers Inn. Go check out like PUBG PC, right? Or check out what are the other games that are available in the cafe, and you'll see that games in PCs and consoles are much more complex than whatever you're playing on a mobile phone. Because you have to understand, one of the biggest problems of mobile is not the CPU, not the RAM, it is the interface. At the end of the day, you have to play on your phone, like with the touch screen, right? There's only so many things that you can do while blocking the screen. When you're going to console or you're going to PC, you have like a full-on setup, keyboard, mouse, and you can do a lot of things there. So
basically what you're trying to say, like, people should like try out the PC games or a console game.
Yeah, of course.
Which are mobile games.
And cafes allow you to try this out in a non-expensive, more accessible way, correct? Because 50 rupees an hour isn't much to pay.
Yeah, right. For trying out something
new.
new.
For trying out something new. Everyone can afford it. You're paying these days 300 rupees for a single movie ticket, which goes on for 2.5 hours. A game for 300 rupees, you can, in some cafes, they will even give you packages.
Yeah, like 4 hours, 5 hours, yeah.
No, it's 300 rupees is itself 6 hours if you add like 50 rupees an hour, right? And some cafes will even have packages where, like, if you're going for 300 rupees at one go, they'll tell you, okay, instead of 6 hours, you can have it for 8 hours. So you're getting a lot more value out of your time compared to other pieces of entertainment, and it's more accessible through a cafe. Yeah.
Okay. So the next question would be like regarding esports. Like currently, like from the last few months, I have seen lots of tournaments coming up, especially in Northeast are the CS:GO and Dota ones from the ILG. If I
Right.
think you know that part. So like in the future for esports regarding Northeast, what do you see? Like, will there be more teams growing on? Like, what's your opinion
Of course.
regarding that thing?
Um, Esports is not something that you can stop. Simply speaking. While I personally don't concentrate in sports, and I'll explain to you why, but esports is not something that you can stop, period, because it is the next. It is the modern form of competition, as you can say, right? Initially, you had chess,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I'm talking about actual chess. Today, if you want to compete someone in a higher thinking capability, or like a brain, like if you're trying to compete with someone in a in an intellectual way, right? Video games are the best way. Like they utilize a lot of things other than what a normal game of chess or board games can you can compete with. They will utilize your hand-eye coordination. They'll utilize your strategic capabilities. They will utilize your team capabilities. They will use a lot of skills that you might have in order to see whether you can win or lose. Esports is competition at the end of the day. As gaming overall grows big, esports is also going to go big. As for Northeast, I see a lot of serious people in Northeast when it comes to gaming. That is partly because Northeast as a whole takes a lot of inspiration from the West. By that I mean Europe and America, right? And this is something coming from me as someone who has grown up in Guwahati. Northeast in India hasn't always been very focused upon as part of India, right? And because Northeast isn't focused upon as part of India, what happens is Northeastern tend to relate with things that are coming from outside. If you see things like anime,
Yeah.
right, or K drama or J pop or stuff like that, you'll see it's much more popular in Northeast than in other parts of India. Why is that? It's because we can relate to those things more than we can relate to something like Bollywood, right? It is basic sense because they look like us. They have similar behaviors. They have similar behavioral patterns, etc. And there are a lot of studies in science and other things, sociology, that go into the same topic. But yeah, I think Northeast has a big potential future, whatever you call it, for esports. But before that can happen, two certain things have to happen. The awareness has to grow, of course, which I think is already happening to a certain degree, like awareness between the youth. A lot more people in Northeast know about video games than they did 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I know when I used to talk about video games with my schoolmates, they'd just tell me to fuck off.
Yeah.
Right. They tell you to go away, talk about cricket or talk about football or talk about something interesting. Today that is no longer the case. Like today, gaming is seen as more of a it's seen more of a serious hobby than anything else. And the second thing is also something that is already improving, which is infrastructure. But that is partly in Guwahati. In places like if you go to Arunachal Pradesh, if you go to Aizawl, if you go to Sikkim, there's still things to come up like cafes and other things. It's still not established yet over in those places. So yeah, those once these two things happen, and awareness will grow with more and more people getting into gaming, either getting into esports or content creation, or whichever way they can get development. There's lots of ways in gaming, right? In the same way, getting into Bollywood does not just mean you becoming a actor.
Yeah.
You can be a camera guy, you can be a director, you can be a scriptwriter, you can be a lot of things. Gaming is in a similar way. It has a lot of sections, and once slowly more of those sections start filling up, you'll see like an exponential growth in the country and in this region for gaming, and also serious people getting into gaming and esports.
So the last thing I want to ask, like not ask actually, like what do you want to like give a message to the community right now of Northeast or like in India in general, so that no, like, just a like message you want to give.
So get into content creation, videos, any day of the week. because 2-3 years down the line, if you start today, you're going to probably be a millionaire. And this is not me saying out of the blue. This is fact. India has the largest population in the world. No, China has the largest population of the world, second largest. But India has the largest youth population in the world. We have around 350 million people who are under the age of 26 years old, right? It's bigger than China, just to give you an idea. And all of these people, what do you think they're going to watch as they grow old? They're growing old with gaming. They're going to watch games. If you see populations of other countries, if you see America, today the average gamer in America is 35-year-old married women, right? Eventually, not right away, but eventually that's the same case that's going to happen in India. Gaming is going to grow. You cannot going to stop it because it is growing everywhere else. India has human beings. We are not aliens, right? We all, at the end of the day, think in similar patterns, and that is where I see content creation playing a big role. People who start making entertaining content today will eventually get a following, will eventually make a brand out of themselves or their group, and will eventually make a lot of money out of it. And this is not through AdSense and other things. Imagine like you having 1 million subscribers. Brands will come running to you. They'll be like, hey, let's do something. And it's not just going to be gaming brands, it's going to be anyone. You remember that Priya Varrier girl who got just famous out of winking? If you go to her Instagram profile today, you'll see that she is getting endorsements from Pringles, she's getting endorsements from this chips companies, etc. Because why? Because they know that if they give some money to her and give her the product and let her expose that product to her viewers, and she has 1 million plus right now in Instagram alone, they'll get exposure, and through much less effort than if they're putting in the money themselves through organized targeted marketing, right? So that is where most of the money is at. Like individually, people are going to make a lot of money, and if you want to be at one of the forefronts of gaming, one of the easiest way, it is not, I won't say easiest way, but one of the most accessible way. Like you don't have to do a lot compared to becoming a game developer or compared to becoming a pro esports player. If you're a pro esports player, you have to practice 24/7. No way about it, right? If you're a developer, you have to learn coding, you have to learn storyboarding, you have to learn a lot of things to get into that. In that sense, being entertaining and funny is much more easier. Making content that is more educational and spreading awareness, making videos, it's much more easier in comparison. And we all have phones, we all have cameras in phones, we all have a laptop today to play out and play games on. And it doesn't mean that you have to play games that are trending. It just means you have to be entertaining yourself so that people around you, even non-gamers, are seeing you and getting entertained. Once people are able to do that, then they're going to crack this industry and grow quite big. And I see a lot of people, YouTubers and streamers and content creators basically becoming big in the next 1 year, who are by the end of next year, you're going to see some of the first gamers and gaming content creators from India hit 1 million or so, either by the end of next year or early 2020. And then these are the people who are going to be at the forefront of the gaming revolution as such in India. Yeah.
So I guess we should wrap it up with this with the last question. So thank you, Aman, for joining me. Hope you didn't mind my cringe questions. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and do like and subscribe, and do give us the feedback, like what should we do next, what do we have any, if you have any opinions, do comment down below. And that's it for today. Thank you.